Quick disclaimer, the audio quality in this episode, at least on my end, is subpar. It's below average. It's not what I normally produce, but it was really good content with Rasean. And so I still wanted to produce it. I made a mistake. I made a mistake by not following through with my checklist, which actually, if you check on the last episode, the previous episode right before this, it's all about checklists. And I gave you, 10, 11, 12, 13 options, ideas that could be on your checklist. So I want you to definitely check that last episode out. I think you're going to get value. And I hope that you'll give me some grace, some forgiveness that I made a mistake, even after 900-ish episodes that I published, that I still somehow forgot to use the correct microphone when I was recording this episode with Rasean. Let's dive in right now, and please give me your grace for how the audio quality on my end sounds. A lot of good content. Here we go. I know that there's a listener who's thinking, I can't do this. I can't do my podcast. I can't maintain a podcast. I'm not sure if I can start a podcast, because you've got kids, you've got a spouse, you've got who knows what. You feel busy. And I know Rasean, he got it started when he had a few things going on too. And so Rasean, take a few moments to just show us, how do we do it when we're crazy busy? We think we're crazy busy.
Okay, guys, man, let me tell y'all something here real quick. Okay. So me running this podcast, right? That's one thing that I do, right? Let me try to list out as much stuff as I do so y'all can see how I do this. So of course, run the podcast. We have that. I run the coaching program. That's another thing. I'm working at my day job, which, as Adam said before, it's a systems engineer. So I'm not working your typical 40 hours a week a lot of the time. Sometimes I'm working 50, 60 hours a week sometimes. Of course, religion's important to me. So I have that at the church. I'm also in charge of running the youth group at my church. As you also heard before, martial artist. So I did karate for over 15 years, and now I'm doing Taekwondo, and I'm also teaching Taekwondo as well. By the way, I still do play video games. I still do have time to hop on my virtual reality headset, hop on, play some games, hop on the computer, play some Rocket League. I still have time to do that. So you're probably wondering, how in the world does this guy do this? And it's very simple. I use the Pareto principle. Pareto principle essentially is what some people refer to as the 80-20 rule. And that says that to get 80% of the output comes from approximately 20% of the input. So what is the big main hard hitters that push everything forward? Let's narrow down to the podcast as an example. What are the big things that need to be done with the podcast? Obviously, I need to put out an episode. I need to promote the episode. And then I, of course, need to just follow up with anybody who asks me questions. Another pro tip for people to do while you're doing that as well is to also do a time audit, because the biggest thing that is a big time waster, in fact, I don't even have it next to me because it's such a time waster, is your phone, right? Check out how much time. That's why I was so happy when I'm a big avid Android user, so I'm not sure how this would work on an Apple device, but at least on an Android phone, Samsung specifically, there is a section in the settings to show you how much screen time and how many apps you are using that show you your screen time. Do an audit of that. Actually pay attention to that and you'll see, oh, Instagram. Oh, I spent 5 hours this week on Instagram. You got to turn that off, because how much of that 5 hours of scrolling was actually beneficial to you? You realize a lot of it is just, it's mess, it's noise, it's media. Oh, cool. Friend update. Like the picture. Okay. Keep going. That was basically a time suck. And the craziest part is it didn't even feel like a time suck, because it's just 10 minutes here, just 15 minutes there. Yes, that's true. But those 10, 15 minute blocks added up to about 5 hours. Now imagine if you took that 5 hours, cut it down to about 1 hour, right? I'm not saying get rid of Instagram, but tune the Instagram time, and then take those other 4 hours and put that towards what you actually want to do. Put it towards that podcast, put it towards that business, put it towards reading. Now you'll start to see you didn't add more time in the day. You just reallocated the time. Going back to that Pareto principle, you took away some of that 80% of that extra fluff work and now added it to now that 20%, and voila. Now you're starting to get yourself onto the path where now you can say, okay, now I have time to do this. Now I have time to do that. And you'll also see that as you do that too, you'll also notice a lot of times, especially if it's things like Instagram, oh my gosh, TikTok, good grief, that's such a time waste. And then all the other kind of social media, once you start getting rid of it, you'll start to see, oh, this really wasn't benefiting me that much in the start. And then at least what happened to me is now I hardly even open the applications. Like my Instagram is now tuned where it's just motivational content, better ways to improve the business and things of that nature. I hardly even see my friends post anymore. I don't watch the stories. I don't watch any of that because I'm just going on there for a specific goal, specific set in stone thing. And the final thing I'll say before I give it back to you, Adam, I know I've been talking for a while. If you all really, really need help with this, and you really are just like, well, I don't know if I can do that, put it in your calendar. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. You're going to want to put in your calendar. Okay, I really like using Instagram. Okay, cool. How much time do you want to devote to Instagram? 15 minutes? Okay, put in your calendar. Right now, I'm looking at the clock right now. It's 2:53 p.m. right now. You're going to say, okay, from 3 p.m. to 3:15 p.m., I'm going to go on Instagram. That's it. When that calendar notification goes off saying you have something else to do, you turn off Instagram. That's the discipline, though. No one's going to force you to get off of Instagram. But that's up to you. How badly do you want what you actually say that you want? If you actually want it that badly, you'll get your butt off of Instagram and you'll go do whatever else it is you had to do. If you don't want it that badly, you're going to say, oh, just 2 more minutes, just 3 more, just 30 more seconds. That was a cute, funny puppy video. Okay, yes, it was a funny puppy video. Yes. But you also said you wanted to get to 10% body fat. How is sitting on your butt scrolling through Instagram going to help you with that? At least walk on a treadmill for those 10 to 15 minutes. At least now you're doing something. So the point I'm trying to get at is if you want to do it, high level summary here, Pareto principle, everything, and really narrow down what is it that you actually want to accomplish, and then focus on what are the main 2, maybe even 3 important tasks that have to get done to further that. And then everything else, find a way to delegate it, whether it be to some piece of software, you give it to an employee, whatever have you. And you said, if you have a spouse and kids, do they want to come in and potentially help? Maybe you can say, if your spouse is supportive, you say, hey, your spouse might help you with answering some emails or things. That's another way to delegate. Otherwise, get rid of it, eliminate it. You don't need it.